All right, sorry we had some technical difficulties here with the audio getting set up. Osseo versus Armstrong. A little bit of action back and forth here for the first couple minutes. Sheska has already made probably 3 or 4 saves. They had a pretty good look on the back door here earlier. The Armstrong player fanned on that shot, fortunately. Back door was wide open. We'll come out with Turk. Who else we got here? St. Jake, Schuster, Whiteford, and Vraa. Quick shot comes in, rings around all the way up to the point. Armstrong holds. Now to the face-off circuit, pass, rink wide. Back up to the point. Harassed by Schuster, he's able to poke it out of the zone. Now Vraa gives chase. Vraa with another good stick there, holds it in the Armstrong zone. Again, Vraa on that forecheck almost picked the pocket. Armstrong in as Turk tries to baseball it out of the air. That puck goes up and clear into the locker room area. Scott, Ingebretson, Cole Murphy, Steiner, and Klein come out. Cole Murphy on the draw, wins it over to Ingebretson. Ingebretson goes around the net, loses the puck, it's loose, recovered by Armstrong. In the corner now, Cole Murphy goes to work. Armstrong comes away with it. Now poked off a stick, Cole Murphy up to Klein. Klein chips it to Murphy. Murphy backhands one softly through the crease and into the far corner. Scott comes in, he tries to pinch, he's able to hold it for a moment. As now the puck squirts behind the neck. Armstrong recovers. Armstrong rush, backhand shot, save, Sheska. St. Jake, Rue, Sargent, Tiva, and Whiteford slams it off the boards all the way up to the point. Rue chips it forward. Tiva looking for Sargent. That got intercepted. No icing. That's waved off. They're going to say he touched it with his glove. Whiteford comes back, chips it up the boards, but not far enough for Tiva. Sargent comes in, he's able to poke it free. St. Jake, quick pass, springs Rue, side of the net, backhand shot, save, Armstrong. Good hustle there by Rue to catch up with that. He's still with it. Now chips it in the middle. St. Jake sends a shot in, high, glove save. Turk, Vraa, Schuster, Ingebretson, and Scott. Vraa back to Scott. He tries to chip it in deep. That's picked off. Ingebretson off the line, able to hold it in. Pass across. Goes right to an Armstrong player. It's tied up in the corner now. Schuster got his stick lifted. He's still battling through. Wraparound. Centering feed. Scott shot. Gets deflected and goes up into the netting. Turk on the draw now. Armstrong controls, they bring it around their net. Cut off by Vraa. Puck ends up in the far corner. Booster comes in, throws a good hit. Tied up now. Vraa joins. From action. Puck squirts free to Armstrong. We'll bring it around the near side. Engelbrecht's in there. He's able to hold. Back up to Engelbrechtson. He dumped in. That puck comes up into the stands. And we got a stoppage. Cole, Murphy, Klein, and Steiner come out through the forward lines. Scott and Engelbrechtson still on defense. Murphy almost had the draw there. They're able to chip it all the way down. That's probably going to be icing. It is. Murphy again to take the draw. Out comes St. Jake and Whiteford. St. Jake off the draw, shot right on. Goalie made a good save there. He's able to hang on to it. Again, Murphy wins the draw, comes back up to St. Jake. He passes it in deep for Klein. Klein to Murphy behind the net. Murphy up to the point, finds Whiteford. Whiteford shot deflected into the corner. Murphy picks it up there. Cole Murphy on the draw. Brings it clean into the corner. Chips it up the boards. Quick shot comes in. Sheska there. Loose up front. We got a battle. Steiner chases to the point. Armstrong holds. Behind the net now. Scott with a good stick. Picked up by Engelbrechtson. He banks it off the glass. That'll go all the way down for icing. Set back up. Again, wins it into the corner. Goes and gets it himself. Scott brings it off the boards. We're going to leave the camera here. That's icing. Yep. I thought the goalie was going to play that. Sorry. 5:48 left to go in the first period. Murphy again wins the draw into the corner. This time Scott brings it up the boards, picked off by Murphy. Murphy across to Steiner. That's chipped right back in. Scott with it now, side of the net. Looks up, finds Klein. Klein trying to pick a pocket now. Ties up in the corner, puck squirts up to the point. Controlled, not controlled, but Klein does pick that pocket now. Comes to the middle, gets it to Scott. Scott pushes it down low. Back up to the point. Scott shot well wide and left. Whiteford hustles over. Tries to hold it on the line. That gets poked by him. Sargent comes in to clean up the mess. Sargent. Breakout pass. Looking for Vraa. That gets by him. Back up to the point and out. Tiva with it now. Up to Vraa. Vraa, right wing side, tries to cut the middle, shot wide left.
Testing.
Up to the points again.
Testing.
St. Jake trying to hold that, bounces over his skates. He chips it back in. The boys tag up and Vraa heads right back in.
Testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing.
Armstrong goes D to D and then back again, now behind their net. Sargent trying to hold one at the line, able to do so. Sends it down low for Drew. Drew backhand, no look pass, gets picked off. Quick shot on that rush. Ends up back up at this point. St. Jake chips it full length. That'll be icing. Back out. Vraa controlled by Armstrong. They take a shot, it ends up in the corner. Engebretson rings it around for Schuster. Schuster tries to push it out, but it's held in by Armstrong. Engebretson again high off the glass, able to get it out. Photograph gave chase. Armstrong comes right back in into a swarm of Osseo players. They end up with it behind the net. Puck comes out front. Schuster, I think, got away with a little bit of a trip there. Scott maintains control. Scott to Engebretson. Rink wide, finds Schuster. Schuster brings it in. Schuster turned around, backhands it into the corner. Turk there. Centering feed blocked. Berggraf chases. Held on the line by Sargent as he's coming off the bench. For the moment, back to Engebretson. He sends it long dump in. Ends up behind the net. Icing waved off. St. Jake back to play it. He leaves it in the corner. Nobody home other than a lone Armstrong player. They cut to the middle. High slot. Drop pass shot. Glove save. Sheska. Rebound loose. They score. Armstrong up 1-0 on a loose puck, side of the net. We've got to move some bodies in there. Murphy out on the draw. He's been winning a bunch of them. Wins again. Whiteford to Steiner. Steiner dumps in. Klein gives chase. Near side here now. Armstrong. Outlet pass. Interceptor. Cole Murphy up the middle. Leaves it for Klein. Klein shot. Off the shoulder. And into the netting. Again, wins another draw. He's just a draw-winning machine today. Flying behind that for Murphy. Murphy, pressure, goes up to the point. Whiteford was a little towards the middle there. He had to race over and chip it back in. Armstrong, 2-on-2 at the line. Shot blocked by Whiteford, ends up in the corner. Steiner sends it back the other way behind the net for Whiteford. Whiteford picks it up, chips it off the glass, but not out, held in. Scott off the glass, not out. Shot comes in, Sheska. Glove save. Armstrong comes away with it, loose up front. Now back up to the high slot. B2B pass, rink wide. Shot, save, Sheska, rebound. Sheska trying to jump on it, but almost popped another one in there. Berggraf now in the corner. St. Jake comes away with it. St. Jake is able to clear. Schuster comes in, saw that coming. Berggraf, left wing side, backhand, soft shot, covered. As Turk flies in, looking to clean that up. Yep. I think we're good. All right, I got a headset now. Maybe a little bit more clear. Murphy off the drive. Pushes it in the corner. Chips it off the middle. Backhand shot. Save and rebound loose. Armstrong comes away with 18 seconds left in the first. quick shot, clear behind the net by Chester, and that's the end of the first. 1-0 Armstrong. Olsen to Sawicki. Makes it 1-1. Olsen with the net. Sends it out front. Sawicki in the back door pops it home. Oh, that same line again.
I think there's a way of turning up his.
Whiteford and Scott on defense. Rock comes up to Scott at the line. He tries to backhand it in. Murphy comes in to help. Scott tied up, gets it to Sawicki in the middle. Shot, save, and held on to. Turk going to come out and center this line here. Turk on the draw, he gets tied up. Puck comes free to Olsen. He turns and fires wide left. Good idea. Just missed the net. Wraparound attempt. Sawicki out front. Olsen tries to pound that home. Good pass there by Sawicki. Had Olsen out front. That puck squirts by everybody. No icing. Sheska's going to come out and play it up to Whiteford. Whiteford gets stood up at the blue line. That puck squirts back in. Scott with it now. Scott pressured, unable to clear. Whiteford in the corner now. Pinches his man up against the boards. As Sawicki gets hauled down, no call. Shot, big glove save by Sheska. 9:47 left in the second period, 1-1 if you're just joining. Murphy on the draw. Like I was saying earlier, he's about 95% on the draw. He wins another one. Schuster comes in, throws a nice hit. Puck comes to the near corner. St. Jake tied up there. He's got 2 on him. Murphy comes in to help. They're digging in the corner here. Finally comes out to Steiner. He tries to spring Schuster. Schuster pressured right away. Murphy picks up a loose puck, pushes it through the middle, swarmed by 4 Armstrong players. I'm playing a clog up the middle defense here, which means we need to pass the puck more, get them off of their spots, get them to break up that clogged zone. Pass connects. They bring it into the zone. Chip to the middle, but broken up by Klein. That puck comes back up to the point. They dance the line. Long shot, wide left. Ends up at the near point. That puck comes in, cleared by Klein. Into the corner, back up to the point, not out. Now Klein picks a pocket. St. Jake tries to clear. Armstrong holds his own. Schuster just ties it up against the boards. We'll have another scrum over there. Out comes Hagen with it. Banks it off the glass. This time able to get it out. We can maybe regroup here. Need a change is what we need. They've had us penned in here for quite a while. Klein now trying to gain that red line and dump it in. No go. Armstrong just brings it right back in. Hagen with a good stick, breaks it up. Shot high over the net. That rings around all the way up to the point as they push it back in deep. Hagen gives chase, banks it off the glass. This time able to get it out. Hopefully get some players changed here. These guys got to be gassed. 3-on-2 as they enter the zone. Shot, save, Sheska. Rebound cleaned up and chipped up to Sawicki. Olsen, a little bit of a breakaway if he hurries. He gets pushed into the corner. Olsen tried to go back up to the point. The D was changing behind him though. Armstrong player flies in. That's going to be covered up by Sheska. Whiteford cuts him off. Tells him to take a seat. Murphy on the draw. Wins it over to Scott. Murphy picks that up, cuts through the middle. Murphy up to Sawicki. Sawicki's got to chase that one down. Shot, scores! Sawicki. Murphy to Sawicki to make it 2-1. Draw one by Armstrong. They bring it back in their zone. D to D. Chip it up the boards. And into the middle, picked off by Scott. He banks it off the boards and in for Sawicki again. Sawicki, shot, scores again. Sawicki on back-to-back shots, makes it 3-1. Just sniping out here. Pretty quiet in here with no tunes going, no goal horn, no nothing. Boys are trying to get fired up, but it's like pins and needles in here. Kind of weird. Armstrong dumps it in. Sheska comes out to play that. It gets by him. Back up to the point now. D-to-D pass. And they chip it back down low. Whiteford there. In comes the speedy Cole Murphy. He chips it up, but not out. Held on the line. Good play there. Now Whiteford breaks up that play. Pass comes in. That's picked off by Sawicki. Murphy with it again. Murphy getting swarmed. He goes back to Whiteford. Whiteford looking for a long outlet pass. Finds Scott. He chips it into the zone. No icing. Olson gives chase. Looks like we're trying to change behind this. Back to Hagen. Hagen turns. Goes to St. Jake. St. Jake all the way through. Finds Murphy. All he can do is chip it in though. Long pass, connects, shot, save, blocker save, Sheska into the corner. Hagen misplays it in the corner. Bergeraff comes to help him out. Bergeraff tied up, trying to get out. Up to Olson there. Olson with it now. Olson chips it ahead for Turk. Turk, shot, save, rebound, no rebound. Good shot there by Turk. Nice pass. Good job getting it up there from Olson. .509 left in the second. 3-1 Osseo over Armstrong. Or is it Cooper now? I don't know which one it is. Cooper, Armstrong, Armstrong, Cooper. We'll go with Armstrong. Bergeraff throws a hit, shot, scores. Bergeraff throws a hit in the corner. Puck comes loose to Turk. Turk just puts it on net. It climbs up over the goalie's shoulder and in. That makes it 4-1. Now we got some tunes going. That's a little bit better. It's a little more like it. Draw comes back to Scott. Scott up the left wing side, pressured, takes a couple chops. He drops it back for Schuster. Schuster a little bit handcuffed, but he comes away with it. He's able to dump it in deep. Bergeraff side of the net. Oh, had a loose puck just sitting there. Bergeraff was trying to get there and pop that one home. Armstrong up the middle. Shot high into the netting. Good stick there. I think that was Whiteford, got a stick on it, deflected it up into the netting. Out comes Murphy, Klein, St. Jake, Steiner, and Hagen. Murphy again wins another draw. Kid's on fire tonight. Murphy cuts through the middle. He's got Klein breaking up the right wing side. Klein throws on the brakes. Oh, that came out. That was definitely offsides, but there was no linesman there to call it. Puck gets chipped around the neutral zone for a minute. Now Armstrong able to bring it in. Murphy breaks up another play, and they're able to chip that down deep. St. Jake behind the net to Hagen. Hagen wheels, comes back around, stops behind the net. Looking for a good pass out, gets it up to Steiner. That misses Murphy. Armstrong in the corner. They throw on the brakes. Couple of 4-inch passes here, and it squirts back to Hagen. Hagen rings it around, up but not out. Armstrong able to hold. D-to-D pass, squirts out of the zone, and they're going to dump it back in. Back to set this up. St. Jake banks it off the boards as Steiner gets pushed down. Puck comes to Klein. He sends it the length. They set a tip, no icing. Long outlet pass, trying to catch us in a change here. Whiteford comes in. Shot, save Sheska. Hit him right in the Orioles circle. Turk on the draw. That comes back to Armstrong. They chip it in. Now back up to the point. D-to-D pass. Shot coming. Save Sheska. That went through some traffic. Good positioning there. Draw goes to the corner. Turk gets tripped up on the play. I think it was by our own player, though. No call coming. Armstrong walks in. Shot deflects into the corner. Turk helping out Whiteford. Whiteford pinches his guy up against the boards. Puck squirts free up to the point. They walk in. Shot deflected. Ends up in the far corner. Sawicki in there battling. He turns, tries to fire one out. That gets blocked. Now Sawicki able to clear. Out comes Murphy, Schuster, Berggraf. Minute 58, shot right out front. Sheska there to make the save. And Murphy comes away with it. He chips it up to Berggraf. Berggraf up the right wing side. Loses it. And Armstrong able to walk out. 3-on-1 at the line. They caught us in a change. St. Jake in all alone. He's going to give them the shot. They score. Not much St. Jake could do there, nor Sheska. 3-on-1. St. Jake had to give him the open lane and, you know, respect that passing opportunity there. And they capitalized on it. 4-2 Osseo. Armstrong at the point. They walk right back in. 16 shoots. Save Sheska. Rebound and another shot. And Sheska able to jump on top of that one. 1:25 left in the period. Whiteford in the corner, throws a little hit. That puck squirts out of the zone. Murphy trying to pick a pocket there. Armstrong gets it back the other way. That puck good on the line. Murphy comes in, takes a swipe at it. St. Jake in the corner trying to get it up and out. Back to St. Jake. This time rings it off the boards. Again held in. Centering pass. Whiteford up the boards. And again and again and again it's held in the zone. Whiteford with it now. Gains the red line. He's going to dump. We'll get a couple changed here. And that's the buzzer. End of 2, 4-2 Osseo. Shots on goal 25-17 in favor of Armstrong. We'll have a little Zamboni action here for you, and we'll pick it back up for your third period coming up. Got audio now? Sorry about that, everybody. I was just talking to the abyss there. Sounds like we're back in business. So had to flip one little switch, it turned out. Berggraf in the corner. Puck squirts out front. Shot, save, rebound, comes behind the net. Cole Murphy with it. Murphy, long outlet pass for Klein. Touches that, but he was behind the red line. So that's going to be icing. Pasale on the draw. Pasale wins it back. That gets by Hedlund. He chases it into the corner. Him and Pasale go to work. Puck squirts free, but it's immediately stuffed back behind the net. Centering pass comes out to the high slot. Armstrong walks in, shot, save, Sheska. St. Jake working now, as well as Steiner. Steiner stands his man up. Now a big hit by number 34. That's Declan Murphy, a sophomore for Armstrong. They carry it in, 34 does. Shoots, he scores. That'll make it 4-3. .34 dances right around St. Jake there. Passes, catches a return pass and buries it. Turk, Schuster, Berggraf, Scott, Whiteford on the ice. Scott battling in the faceoff circle, comes away with it. He goes up to Berggraf. Berggraf felt that hit coming. He just got rid of it. Whiteford now with a good stick, chips it up. They're going to say, what is this? Did that go out of play? That might have hit the player bench there. Turk wins it back to Whiteford. Whiteford goes across for Scott, too hard to handle. Chips it up to Berggraf. Berggraf able to get it out of the zone. They got to tag back up. Now Whiteford on the far wall. Walks through, loses it. Armstrong right back in. Scott goes down, nice block there. Schuster in the corner, joined by Turk and Whiteford. Whiteford comes away with it. Rink wide pass, Berggraf tangled up. I think we could have had a penalty there. No call coming. Now Cole Murphy picks off a pass. He's going to circle back in the zone and get it up to Berggraf. Berggraf pressured, pokes at it, able to get it to Murphy through the middle. In comes Carter Murphy, shot. That goes off the goalie and into the netting. Pasale to take this draw. Wins it back to St. Jake. Blast coming, blocked. That comes all the way back. St. Jake hustling. Banks it off the glass and out. Pasale picks it up there through the neutral zone. He gains the zone. Tries to cut to the middle. He's pushed outside. Loses it in the corner. Cole Murphy comes in and gives him a hand. Cole and Carter go into the corner. Pushed up the wall and chipped around Hedlund. Pasale with some speed. That's going to be a tripping call as Pasale breaks up that rush. Might have been a good penalty there, though. 8:07 left to play. So once again, Osseo going shorthanded. Face-off extraordinaire, Cole Murphy. I think that's the first draw he lost all night. Murphy lays his stick out, blocks that pass. Shot comes in, blocked by Scott. Back up to the point. Murphy throws a little hit, trying to push it out. I think he did get it out now finally. Carter takes a swipe at it. Armstrong right back in. Whiteford with a good stick there, ties his man up. Shifty number 13 or 16 gets around him though. Shot, save, Sheska flashes the glove. We've got Hedlund, St. Jake, Burgraff, Turk with 1:25 left in this kill. Turk on the draw, Hedlund clears it. Nice slow clear, eating up some time. Turk's in pursuit. We got 2 guys in deep here. We don't want to do that on a PK. Like to see 1 guy in there. Shot, save, Sheska. 1:04 left in the PK. Turk getting ready to take another draw here. Wins it and gets it himself. Nice clear, good effort there by Turk. Chips it all the way down as the precious seconds click off the clock. Burgraff putting some pressure on too. Nice pressure there. Armstrong enters the zone. St. Jake steers him into the wall. Back up to the point. Shot coming, blocked out front. I think that was St. Jake. Got the most of that. And Sheska says, thanks, buddy. Cole Murphy, Klein, Scott, Whiteford come out. 35 seconds left in the kill. Cole wins another draw. Scott rings it high off the glass all the way down. That's going to go in on net. Goalie plays it. He tees it up for number 34, Declan Murphy. Armstrong back in the zone. Whiteford races over. Whiteford in the corner, gets a stick on it. He's able to tie that up. Cole Murphy comes over. He's trying to dig it out. Murphy does come away with it. Up the middle goes Murphy, joined by Scott. 2-on-1 shot high over the net. Back to full strength now as Steiner able to hold the zone. He tries to chip it back down low. That's cut off. Loose puck side of the net. Shot backhand. Steiner. Third attempt. Steiner scores. Steiner comes in. He's got a loose puck side of the net. Shoots. Rebound. Gets his rebound. Shoots again. Then cleans it up on the back door with a backhand. Good third attempt there by Steiner. Way to stick with it, kid. Steiner now going to take this draw. Gets it up to Carter Murphy. Almost had a breakaway there. He's trying to dig that out. He does come away with it for a moment. Armstrong chips it off the glass. St. Jake gloves it, bobbles it. Now Hedlund in. Shot, save Sheska. Pass comes out front. And Armstrong putting on some pressure, trying to answer back. That squirts all the way up to the point. Everybody's got to throw on the brakes. Shot comes in. It was tipped. Ends up going behind the net. Now up at the point. They play it back down low. Pasale overskates a little bit, able to get it to Carter Murphy. Carter Murphy pushed. Pasale breaking to the net. Shot comes in into the netting. (5-3) Osseo. Shots on goal are starting to even up a little bit. 35-21. Draw tied up. Burgraff trying to go up to Whiteford. Whiteford was out of the zone, however. Whiteford flips one high into the air. Lands behind the Armstrong net. Back up to the point, held in for a moment by Turk.
Bergerath fires it right back in. Whiteford chips it off the glass. Turk jumps up to try to glove that down. That goes over his hand. Armstrong able to break out. Whiteford in the corner. Leaves it for Scott. Scott goes back to Whiteford. Schuster at the line trying to dig one out. He goes down. And Armstrong's in offsides. Whiteford just chips another one in. Played by the Armstrong goalie, so we can get a change here. Schuster throws a big hit. No surprises there. Hedlund behind the net. Hedlund up to Scott. Scott misplayed that a little bit or got handcuffed. That bounces back. Scott turns, fires it up the boards. Pasale trying to dig that out now. Armstrong cuts in. That hits the side of the net, ends up behind the net. Hedlund in the corner. Chips it by his man. A little bit of keep away here as Scott now gets his body involved. Quick shot from the point comes in. Sheska moving from his left to his right was able to get over and stop that one. Murphy on the draw. Almost comes away with it. Shot right out front. I don't know if that got through or if Sheska got a pad on that. Either way, didn't get there. Cole Murphy chips it in. Gives chase back to Carter. Carter trying to go back up to the point. He had Hedlund there. That gets intercepted. As now Armstrong works in. Good effort there by Cole Murphy, able to break that play up. Shot, save, Sheska. Looks like Hedlund left his spot there to go help out, and they danced in. Bergerath out to take the draw. Armstrong was trying to play with 6 there. Looks like they're thinking about pulling the goalie. I saw the Armstrong coach kind of say, hey, come when I tell you. Shot off the crossbar. Comes out. Steiner controls. Steiner rubbed off the puck. Bergerath takes a swipe at it. Now Klein trying to dig it out. Whiteford throws a hit. Klein with it now. Digging across the boards here. Steiner comes in to help. Puck comes free back to an Armstrong player. They move it up. Shot, save, Sheska, rebound, side of the net. Whiteford cleans that up. Scott with it now. Scott racing through. Little extracurriculars there. Nothing coming of that. 2:15 left to play. Armstrong in the zone. That puck gets ringed all the way around. No ice as it came off of an Armstrong player's stick. They try to set it back up again. 25 gains the zone. Sends in a shot. Scores. Looked like that snuck in 5-hole maybe. Good rush. Shot. Yes, 5-hole goal. To make it 5-4. Now you can bet that goalie's probably going to get pulled. We got some officials over talking to the clock operator here. What we got going on here? Draw one again by Cole Murphy. Scott with it now. Scott's pass blocked right out front. Sheska comes out. He's going to take no chances there. Covers that up. Took a pop shot at the empty net down here. Didn't miss by much. All right. Armstrong with the extra attacker, empty net. St. Jake in the corner with Cole Murphy. Cole Murphy able to dig it out. Tries to chip it up the boards. That one goes nowhere. Now Murphy turns, fires again. That gets blocked. Murphy this time sends it the full length, and he scores. Murphy, 3 attempts to clear it. Third attempt, he sends it right down on the empty net, dead center. 6-4 Osseo. They'll leave the same line out. Goalie back in the net now. 42 seconds left to play. Schuster, right wing side, shoots, save. Loose puck, Murphy turns and fires. That's steered into the corner. Whiteford unable to hold. He just sends it back in on net. Boys tag up. As Murphy's in trying to pick another one clean. That one goes by everybody. That'll be icing. 17 seconds left. Murphy on the draw. 14 seconds left. Held in the zone. Scott sends it back in deep. Schuster in the corner. Chips it to Murphy. Murphy turns and fires. And 2-1. That's going to be the game. 6-4 Osseo. And we'll have the varsity game coming up next. Thanks, everybody.